2, 3.
Whoa, why hello everyone out there in Whiskey Land. Welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. And we are also a proud part of the Bar Cart Co-op.
Yes.
And home of the Fat Boy Tasting Notes. And there's many things. We've done a few things over the years. But we're happy to have everyone in the chat here with us this evening, because we're bringing in some things this evening that I'm going to say are some heavy hitters. I tasted one before. I know about that. You can hear my kids excited in the background about it as well, too. Clearly some yelling going on there. And then also a Single Cask Nation that comes all the way from the land down under. So this is going to be one heck of an evening. I'm excited for it. Mike, how are you doing? Mitch, what are you up to?
Go ahead, Mitch. In Nebraska.
He's made it.
Start my new job tomorrow at the distillery, and yeah. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully really, really well. And nothing blows up or anything like that, right? I hope so.
We're hoping so. I don't think there'll be an issue. I think it's actually going to go pretty good. Sounds like a neat position for you. So, Mike, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine. I'm kind of scrunched in trying to type here, so I'm not doing diving poses or anything like that. I have too many things on either side of me right now.
You're getting ready for the Olympics, like working on
yeah. Well, I was already asked if I'm going to be watching the Olympic trials. It's like I will watch some of them.
Not all of them, but a couple. That's something that, and we can have a tangent about this in a whole other show, that there are some sports that need to be more televised. And
oh yeah.
I mean,
but I'm a big track and field and wrestling person.
Okay.
We always had, growing up in Des Moines, we had the Drake Relays, which is a really large event at the end of April, and we always went to it all the time. And then my high school was we got to do the starting blocks and the hurdles. And if you did the starting blocks, you got paid, but you had to have like a certain number of years under your belt to do those, because you did every event. You had like no break. And then if you did the hurdles, you would do them in teams, whatever. But they would always, by doing that, you got a special sweatshirt that you wore that nobody else got. And all the people always wanted to buy them off of you, and athletes wanted to trade them. One of my friends, some athlete gave him his full tracksuit in exchange for the sweatshirt. I kept all mine. My sister actually has all mine, but yeah. So anyway, that has nothing to do with anything other than I like track and field. And no, I'm not a sprinter. I was a shot putter. Spoiler alert.
I was like middle distance and relays. I wasn't the best at the 100. I mean, I was okay, but you know when you're not going to be finishing first, and you're like, oh, I'm racing.
I'm familiar with that.
I'm racing for third. You know how it's like, it's not. It doesn't have the same gusto.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm excited about the Olympics. I really like them.
I do too.
I like the events. I like how it happens. The event organizers and such are garbage. The people who put it together and put it on are absolute filth. Exactly. But I love watching it because I like to pretend it has the purity of when it was once founded. You know?
Yes. There's only been one time in my lifetime, and I've watched all the Summer Olympics in my lifetime. There's only been one time that I know of that a city did not get screwed by the Olympic Committee, and that was the LA Games in '84. And there was still corruption, but they didn't go bankrupt like what the Olympics likes to do to a lot of cities. Just leave them in ruins with all this stuff. And LA was the only one who stood up. So hopefully that'll happen again, because I really hate seeing that, especially when they get some of these cities and just what they do for the workers and the worker conditions. But then afterwards, they're left with a lot of them left with useless buildings. Atlanta did a good job with that, but still had
that was
issues.
A big enough city again, though, too. Where it was like, okay, we can, on that mindset, if you have an Olympic pool, maybe one of the colleges or something, we should be hosting events. There's things that we should be doing with this that we can, where, there's a lot of them that was totally obliterated by it. But that's actually what they're coming back to, I think, when it's in LA again, in 2028. There, and then I think after that, it's mainly major cities like London again. They're going to places that already kind of have the infrastructure or some of the buildings built. So.
Yeah. And Tim, yes, I do enjoy the decathlon, actually. And yes, Mary Lou Retton, forever in our hearts.
It is. I remember Carrie Strug's thing when she had her busted up ankle and did it, which was pretty sweet.
That I had very mixed feelings when that was going on, because
she shouldn't have been going.
Exactly. I can appreciate the tenacity and the dedication that the Curleys did, for the program. But at that time when she did it, I'm like, she's going to have permanent. Now, it's her choice. Do I want to have permanent damage and eternal glory? But she's also maybe a little young to make that decision, when instead it was Bella going, "You go now." And she had no choice but to go and do that. So anyway. Okay.
So that'll be a whole nother show. Obviously, Olympics exciting, and it's coming up, so we'll keep an eye on that stuff. Do we want to tell people what the Bar Cart Co-op today? Because I know there's some upcoming shows.
I'm faunching at the bit. Yes, I can do that.
That is outstanding. I'm going to open up some of these. Who do we want to start with, Single Cask or Ironroot?
Mitch had a good suggestion, and I do believe he's right with the Single Cask Nation.
Oh, I agreed. I just wanted to make sure we were all in that.
Okay. We are proud members of the Bar Cart Co-op, which is a collection of friends who create content for the whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The Bar Cart Co-op YouTube and Facebook pages have information about upcoming and past special shows, which happen about every quarter. There are blind tastings, distiller panels, discussions of special collaborations, and the usage of unique grains. The Bar Cart Co-op has educational and fun episodes for your enjoyment. There will be one later this month. Do not know the date, but I believe it will be about George Washington Distillery or Mount Vernon Distillery, George Washington Distillery in Mount Vernon. See, there you go. I don't even know enough to talk about it. We'll go to Distiller's Talk, which is the oldest show in the group, hosted by Christy Atkinson and Alan Bishop. It's a conversation with people from distilleries and distillery adjacent that gets into deep and sometimes off the rails and back again discussions with their interviews. New episodes arrive at the end of the work week. And if you don't think that is nerdy enough, then you should check out One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. This is where Alan Bishop answers any questions about distilling and often puts them to the test. It could be individual grains, mash bills, equipment, and methodology. New episodes come out randomly, so subscribe. And are we missing a graphic? No, we are not. If you have ghosts, you have everything, which is a show about the spirits and paranormal among us, as well as the unexplained and the spiritual. Subscribe on Spotify to get the 3 previous seasons and the 4th season, which is in progress right now. And we have Bourbon Turntable, where they mix the love of music with the love of whiskey. They have conversations with musicians, writers, distillery folks, and common folks like us about music and whiskey. It releases every Wednesday on all your platforms, including YouTube. Last week's show was Ken Schreiner from AJ Schreiner Spirits, who will be on our show next Monday.
Correct.
This week is Van Winkle and the Spirits. And then the week after that is Miss Stephanie McNew-Burton from the Highly Spirited podcast. And I believe they're going to be talking about murder cocktails.
And ballads.
And murder ballads. Yes, lots of murder going on. And last but not least is David Levine with Whiskey in My Ring. That David talks to people in the industry and industry adjacent who he finds very interesting. From the unknown things to things you already know about, David gets into the weeds with his guests. He does fantastic reviews and does much thorough and precise awards than we do, because David does all the things that we don't.
And that is a good thing out in the chat now. What should some of the things in the whiskey Olympics be? If you're gonna have them, there should be a few of them. And it should be kind of varied too. So
yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I kind of jumped on it. I'll put that back down. I kind of moved up in what I was sniffing stage. I'm gonna hold on. Do you guys have this poured?
Yes.
Okay. Mike, this one came from you.
Who is Taylor Boone?
That's an interesting question.
Yes.
There's like a mini movie about this, I believe.
Yeah.
I used to work with about 19 different Boones at work, and they were all somehow related to each other. It was wild.
You just didn't call them Boone. Yes. So this one, the bottle here, I'll just hold the bottle up and tell you the details on it.
Oh, wait,
from
make you big. Wait.
Oh,
wait. I screwed that up.
I
have to move you to
hey,
there we go.
There we go. This is the Single Cask Nation. Look at that beautiful color. Single Cask Nation Backwoods Australian Rye. I'm going to not be large. Thank you very much. I'm going to move around just to confuse people because I don't like it. All right, so the quick details on this one is this is distilled at Backwoods Distilling, and it was aged 3 years in recharred American oak, 1 year in recharred French oak, distilled October 2018, bottled September 2023. It's one of 204 bottles. There are still bottles available if you are a member of Single Cask Nation. If not, go join and go get one. I give you one of the things that I really, really like about Single Cask Nation is I love their tasting notes because they read like the J. Peterman catalog.
Yeah, they do a great job of doing it.
So after everyone gives their input on this one, I do want to read it because I do absolutely love their tasting notes because they get into it. And they also, for every release that they put out, they will do a video about it where they really get into and they like encourage their descriptions out of each other. Where we're like, it tastes good. I get fruit. So yes, please go ahead.
Okay, just coming up to the nose, it smells kind of soft and elegant for a rye. To be honest, right? It's a rye. Yeah, it smells
floral and fruity, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
yes,
a bit of leather in there too on mine. Behind that, but yeah, there's a lot more. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed rye.
No,
I would have guessed something that has. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is like almost a single malt nose for me.
Yeah, because or it's got like it smells like it's got like a little bit of oats or like a deeper, richer grain underneath this. Yeah, it smells like a thicker bread underneath it rather than just like a rye spice. It's really interesting. I gotta hold on here. I'm gonna want to keep trying to drink it because this one is cool.
Ooh.
Renita, that's not bad. I know they had a cocktail contest back in London, and they had to walk from one of the bars to the other ones with a martini and the bottle on the tray and not spill it on the way. It's interesting.
There should be events like in Beer Fest.
I agree. There's some of them you can do, but we can't do like a chug.
I was about to say, like, attempt to drown yourself in a vat of whiskey and then tornado yourself out of it.
It didn't work though. I mean, it was a good try.
It did. Yeah. Landfill give it his best.
Landfill too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the nose changed drastically about
yes.
Ago
yes.
Like
you think it's from heat?
Mine changed. I had mine, and I wrote down before the show what mine were. Because the first time I had it, I didn't really sit with it. I drank it. And it's like, I like it. So I wrote them down, and then so after nosing it the second time, I have almost totally different line. So I'm after you guys say yours, I'll say what I had, and then I want to read what they wrote.
Like a blackberry molasses bear claw. I'm getting like a deeper fruit note. I'm getting this doughy texture, and it's not quite rye spice, but it's like a blend of rich molasses and a little bit of rye, but it's a dark, like I said, it's like there's an earthier, darker note in here.
Yeah.
Than what I was expecting. And then I do get light sugars. I don't call it like a lemon, but maybe an apricot note at the top. I don't think I'm a little clogged up in music.
Yeah. So my first things I got were like kind of like a honeysuckle elderflower type floral note, and then like a really dense apricot fruit note. But then it changed, and it changed hardcore to like burnt molasses. And man, it is some sort of flower. That's not a rose. That's not honeysuckle. That's
no.
not
But when you said elderflower at front, that was right. But it's almost like that, like you said, it got covered over or altered. But you do get a little bit of you're like kind of in a spring field.
It's
like at the
to
top.
me, it's almost like if you made a creme brulee, but you made like a lavender creme brulee, and instead of caramelized sugar on top, it was caramelized molasses on top. Is kind of like the note I'm getting.
I like that.
I like that note.
I'm gonna take a sip now. Mike,
All
what
right.
were your notes?
So my first notes that I'd had from first trial was apple, chocolate, tobacco, just a mix of fruit, and then it got real floral, and then it was like specifically cut strawberries. When I went back into it after waiting and letting it sit, my new things I was getting off it were an apple flavored cigar, chocolate covered cherries, and sorghum on a roll.
I like the sorghum. I like some of the other things you said after I had a taste here.
And their nosing notes, their nosing notes were balsa wood, dehydrated apple rings, and a freshly opened pack of unfiltered cigarettes, but with rich sweetness in the form of chocolate-covered shredded wheat and hints of cherry lips and strawberry starburst. I feel good. I had a couple things that they got, but I don't know. They're very specific. I love it.
So the taste on this is absolutely nothing like the nose.
No.
Yeah, right?
This is one of the most disparate nose to like palate whiskeys I've ever had.
Mm.
Yes, Shannon. Yes. So I introduced Morgan to honey and butter and sorghum and butter on like biscuits and cornbread, and she freaked out a little bit.
You know how you were saying this smelled a little bit with the finish? It almost drinks like a scotch for me. I don't know. It's got this. There's like this little bit of like tannin note, or like the cigarette thing you get. Obviously, there's like a little bit where that puffs up and stuff, where you get like that ashy cigarette note. But this is really good. I'm just having a hard time riding all the different flavors, because there's different things that happen at the front, the middle, and it has, for me, a very strong finish. Like it's just still sticking around on my tongue right now.
Yeah.
And I am salivating from it, so it's at least doing good. Hey, Neil, good to see you. Cool.
So I don't know how many of y'all have been around pipe smokers, but there is a type of tobacco called Latakia. And this really reminds me of like a heavy Latakia blend, like a Peterson nightcap or something like that. But it is fantastic. Holy crap. But yeah, just
What if-
like pipe tobacco, chocolate.
The very front, like little bit of my tongue, before everything happens that's going in, it has this neat bitter note that stays on like the very front tip of my tongue. And then everything else is like happening behind it. Like it's almost like sets the stage for what's going on.
There's also like a lovely, so if you smoke a pipe right and you smoke it too hot too fast, you'll actually burn the wood.
Yes.
That note is coming through too. Oh,
Yeah. But the earthiness I was getting before, I think was like the little bit of the charred section in this, or whatever is given this, like this ashy little, like, cigarette's a good word for it, because it's not ashy, but you know, it's got that certain, like you said, from a pipe tobacco, and I know I don't know that, but I mean, it has a certain flavor to it.
I may have like 20 pipe tobaccos in a pod right now, slowly moving across the Midwest.
And I get dark chocolate, and then like the rye spice in the middle heats up where it rides the middle of the tongue. This is 3.5 years old. That makes sense, I guess, for down there. I would assume it ages faster too.
4.
4?
It's just shy of 5.
And it's just a rye?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's
I'm
that
intrigued.
used oak.
Huh?
It's that used oak. It is pulling a lot of weight.
I would say, yeah, a ton. Because that's almost hard to be. I don't know if I would peg that as a rye going in a blind.
I don't even know if I'd peg that as a like that is.
I don't think if you give it to anyone, there's no way they would guess Australia.
Oh, I don't know.
I could honestly see it being mistaken for Texas or Arizona.
You get the heat. It's not the same as mesquite, but I get what you're
No.
talking about with that type of wood ashy thing in there.
Yeah.
I just don't quite get that Texas funk.
No, not the funk, but it's that the dusty
Mhm.
note that I would get. But because Texas for me, it's more like buttery dust. It's just there's something. Yeah, but like for this one, the palate for me, it was dust and nuts and chocolate and tobacco together, and woody and herby on the palate. But the finish for me is all is cocoa powder and dusty fruit. It's to me it's very dry. Like it
is super dry. Like I was trying to figure out what the sweetness was I was tasting, and then I had to stop and be like, am I tasting sweetness?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to call it like a jammy kind of flavor for a second, but like you said, you almost get like a wine drying tannin effect because it's not heavy, but it's quick and powerful.
Yeah. And again, not sponsored, but anyone, if this is interesting and to anybody, go to Single Cask Nation, join them up, and buy a bottle.
It's fun. This is very good. I know nothing about Backwoods. I am totally intrigued.
Yeah.
You know how it is like this. So this is what you have. What else do you have? Because
they have a lot actually.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they have a lot of gins and other spirits as well. But this was their second, well, at least the second time that they have done a pick from Backwoods. And I believe that they used the cask from the first or from the last pick that they did for this one. So yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, it runs a flavor of spices on the sides too. First, it's just there's a lot going on at different points. I'm getting different flavors things are being activated at different points in my tongue. That's a fun one.
I like the finish. For me, the finish, it hangs on until it just decides not to. It's like it just goes away, and it's like, oh, it's gone. It just every time that I've sipped it, it's like it's very present, and then you just realize you're like, oh, it's gone. Anyway, it's fun. Do you want to hear what they said about it?
I do.
Okay. They said, for the palate, a wonderful mouth-coating texture with abundant notes of walnut skins, chocolate-dipped cherries dusted in cocoa powder, fresh wood shavings, vibrant rye spice, Biscoff cookies, and whoppers. Quite earthy and a touch herbaceous.
The whoppers are neat because that's that dry cocoa powder thing in there.
Yeah. Finish is moderate along with lingering rye spice, more wood shavings, drying cocoa, black licorice, and then on the very end, a bright citrus flourish. I guess I need to drink more of that, but anyway, I dig their notes.
Walk myself in. Well, at least they're having fun with it.
They're definitely having fun with it. So yeah, I dig it. I thought this is a fun one.
Like I said, I wouldn't have guessed a rye from having it, so I'm intrigued about that. I have some of my relatives that lived in Australia for a while, so they'll probably get a kick out of the sample. So.
Yeah, and they are in. Let's see, what did it say that they're at? I'm not going to pronounce it right. Yackandandah.
I'm not sure.
Yackandandah. Okay.
I'd have to look it up to see where it is.
In Victoria.
Oh, okay.
It's good enough.
My relatives lived in Perth, so they're on the west side of everything.
They're not watching. It's like noon there right now.
Well, it could be. We'll take it.
It could be.
Okay, right. But now for people who probably are watching.
Yes, and I did a palate cleanser in this. I did a little chocolate on there.
I'm gonna take a quick.
So sorry, I'm adjusting apparently my earpiece is falling apart. So yeah, so this one, nope, not you.
Yeah, look at that. What's up, buddy?
Why again?
He's got really? Back to him. It's because he looks good. You gotta slide yourself in the first. There you go.
There we go. All right. So this is the Ironroot Harbinger Cigar Blend. This one's my bottle that I'm enjoying. And I am sharing, but you guys have samples courtesy of the lovely Shannon Hood and Ironroot, as does Miss Emily. Hopefully she's enjoying some of hers too. So yeah, this is the Harbinger Cigar Blend. I guess, and Shannon, please correct. I think I would call this part of, if not a predecessor to, the 10th anniversary release, which is a variant of this, but this is strictly blended. It is not finished. It is a blended whiskey from barrels going back to barrel 1 and barrel 3 or 4, named after Jonathan's kids. There's a little bit of those in there, along with just a mix of other things, and maybe the only cigar blend that is not finished in something. Because every cigar blend is finished in something, so some way, somehow. But as I said, a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, last week, this is already at the top of the list for my bourbon of the year. So yes.
Oh
yeah, she says flying off the shelves. I wish I lived in Texas, because I would like to track another one down.
I have moved to be an equidistant amount away from Texas. I went, I'm going to go above Texas, but up a little ways. So
it's basically a straight shot.
Yeah, don't be sorry it's unfinished.
So is China. If you fly, it's just
depends on how fast you drive. So yes, so I'm enjoying it, as one should, in your Ironroot glass.
Yeah, you should.
Because I am a whore.
Mine is not in an Ironroot glass.
I could tell you I sometimes put other whiskeys into a different Texas distillery's glass just to kind of insult that distillery. Because they wish they had something so good. But here we go here. Right on the nose, it is. For a cigar blend, at the top, I had some bright citrus, some really high notes. And it goes away, then that kind of slides away when you go to the sides. For not like putting this in a cigar barrel, you do get a little bit of, you know, that cigar leaf smell to it, like almost like when they're drying it out, not like when it's completely dry, almost like a little bit of a damp leaf. Some sugars in the middle too, like a brown sugar. And there's some almost like I don't want to call it like a pear, but I want to go grapefruity, but there's like this weird fruit note that's in between that I can't hit right now. Sorry. Mitch, Mike, I know you're writing down your notes, but
I'm writing mine down. Mine, first off, the nose is thick. It is thick. And see, yeah, I would agree with cedar. Got thick vanilla, honey, chocolate, cherries, root beer candy, and then it finishes with, like, have you ever had the cocktail drinks like cran cherry? You get a little bit of that on there.
I swear I get like a French oak type smell, if you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's oaky, but it's not like, you know, vanilla, coconut, just all those normal oak notes. It's a lot of baking spices. I know you can't smell tannins, but it smells tannic, right? Like,
so root beer for a second, I got like a titch of sassafras. This is very similar. All right, I'm going in. I know I like the nose, but
yeah.
Whoa. And I'm much more awake though than when the last time I tried it. I was pretty wore out last time.
oh, that's good.
The finish is a little quicker than I thought, but I'm getting like light fruit notes, tangerine, pear on the finish right now. Like more so than some other stuff that's on the bottom side of my tongue clinging through on that. I wasn't expecting that. And it wasn't there a second ago. It like rolled through after that went through. Sorry if I'm sniffing. I think I may have stuck my nose in too far earlier.
So this is fascinating to me because the finish literally trails off, and then right when you think it's about to end, it suddenly spikes with a new like flavor that you then ride all the way down.
It does seem like it's fading away. And then it has like something's clinging.
I'm trying to get my girlfriend to try it, but she's already in work mode, so.
Well, that's fair. I'd try it though.
You guys are in Nebraska. Being drunk at work is.
You're a Midwestern.
Right at past.
Midwesterner now.
No. So I bought one local beer already because, and it's the Nebraska Brewing Company, and it is their second collaboration, and it is called Plum Up the Jam. So plum up the jam. And I am just so happy that that exists. I'm not going to lie.
Is it good?
Do you like plums?
Well,
I
I'm
guess
asking
so,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
I liked it.
I just didn't know if you liked the name of the beer so much, or if it was like the actual beer. It's quality.
I mean, I bought it based off the name alone.
I thought you were going to say you went full tourist mode and you got one that's a red ale. It's got the corn husker on it.
I think that's called Bush Light here because it's just got corn on every box I see of it.
Mm. It's so dense when you first enters your mouth. It's dense flavors, very thick. You're trying to your tongue's trying to work its way through. The sides are pulling out bright fruit notes, some effervescent stuff. You're getting chocolate over the middle.
This is the one we had.
And it's weird. It almost changes a bit. There was like cocoa powder at one point, but there's also like a thicker dark chocolate at the beginning. Now in the finish, I'm getting the rye spices on the side. These two are both screwing with me. And in a lovely way. You know what I mean? Like you're getting little bits here, you're getting little bits there. There's some spin on what's going on. Oh, I feel better now. I don't know about this. Is syrup really? Black cherry. Dark chocolate.
I mean, I definitely got cherry. I don't know. I've never had black cherry syrup, so that's definitely a tasting note that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I bet you can go to a old school ice cream soda jerk shop, get some of that.
This almost tastes like Coca-Cola syrup to me, only not quite Coca-Cola. Right? It's not. Doesn't have
Cocaine
that.
or no cocaine?
Seems
Yeah.
cocaine.
Okay.
That fun.
And when you mention that, you almost
Oh.
do get like a fountain soda thought on it.
I don't know what those are.
Oh, hold on.
I like that.
We're gonna get.
I may have to take a look myself.
Hold on a second.
Are
I'm
we
gonna
all
show you.
about
If I
to
show you,
Google this?
I'm gonna show you the picture, and then you might or might not.
Oh, I think I do. I'll wait for the public picture.
Wait for it to go public. Hold on. There's too many steps.
Yeah.
It's like Mitch Hedberg. I don't need another step between me and toast.
We're buying a donut.
Yeah.
I can't think of an instance where I would need to prove that I bought a donut.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the
receipt.
money. You just give me the donut.
Like my friend asked me if I wanted a frozen banana now, and I said no, but I would like a regular banana later. So, yeah. Chico stick.
Never had one.
Oh, you take like one bite and it starts to fall all over you.
Never had one?
Fix that boy.
Who's talking? Huh? I don't know. They look like a cowtail to me slightly, and I've never had one of those either. So
Cowtails are mostly like taffy-ish. It's more like crunchy. I don't know. More like a little crunchy wafery thing, kind of.
I'm kind of one of those, if it's not
wafer.
chocolate, I'm not super interested, guys. Like I can buy Morgan any, sour, gummy, whatever flavored anything, and she knows that they are perfectly fine. I will never eat a one of them. Chocolate, though. Chocolate disappears around me.
Wow.
Why do I keep moving around?
Mike's all scared. Mike's scared to be in the front zone.
No, nobody wants to see me.
Here.
Yeah, well.
There we go.
Oh.
Perfect.
Oh. Wow.
Black
Is that what we're going to
cranberry.
do?
That's the only control I really have. Come on.
There's just coming back to this, like this, I get the syrupy note now because it's a little bit thicker on the nose, but it's like a clean syrup. It's not like super sugary. I know that sounds dumb, but there's some that are made, it's too much, but for just what this is a blended bourbon, there is, wow, just a visceral amount of flavors twirling across your tongue. Like yep, I can see why you said it, Mike. I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm like speechless, but it's a hell of a fun ride, and it's easy to go back to. It's not one that's gonna make you stop. There's some that are thick and too rich and all over the place, but this goes away easily enough that I'm concerned about how quickly I'm going to drink this bottle.
There we go. There's the deets from the lovely lady herself.
Whoa. Yeah. Man, when you get that air in there, it just bursts flavor. And I like black cherry. So this is a real, and you, to be honest, I don't get that a lot in a lot of whiskeys. Cherry notes are there, but you not normally like that dark, rich cherry note.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh yeah, but the cherry that I get, it reminds me more of like an Amarena cherry.
Oh, I was gonna say
not the super syrupy Luxardo. It's just more closer to an Amarena. That's like you're having it with something. But yeah, I wonder if I can do. Can you do? No, we can't put two images up at the same time. Or can we? We've never tried. No. That answer's no.
And that's okay. It's okay that that's no.
No, it's not.
We'll figure it out for next week's show. We can put up two things at once. But
normally we're more prepared.
I will try this with ice, but it's just so friendly.
Oh, it's
so good.
Beautiful. It is really good. I enjoy it. There's a little on the finish. I get a little bit on the palate, but then on the finish, there's like a citrus aftertaste, but it's at the front.
Mine's on the outside.
And you know, it's like that, you know, where you get that after everything. It's like, oh, like a little, but that's at the beginning, and then so it's like citrus mixed with some other things on there.
True.
I know it's whatever.
You're okay.
It just reminded me of a joke from, like, I think it was Everybody Loves Raymond when they eat.
We're not experts. We're lovers. Remember?
The joke was, it kind of starts with an aftertaste. And it's just like, right. I like that.
So, did you guys do the blend by chance? Because I did.
I only have one Glencairn.
You packed one.
I packed none because of how good I am at this.
Hold on, I'll pull a little mix in here.
But I can say I did pack a couple hundred bar glasses in newspaper that are in a pod somewhere in the Midwest.
Whoa. For me, the dusty note really picked up on the blend.
He's doing it again.
Fruit, dusty cocoa powder, like Nestle Quick cocoa powder. Ugh. I'm not getting the black cherry. I'm still getting a darker fruit note, but it's more like a plum and a cranberry. And milk chocolate. There's a lot of chocolate going on in this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting a lot of the high notes I was off of just the cigar blend.
Whoa.
No.
The dust prevails.
The dust is like the mid-range of what the rye that was missing. It came out. I don't want to say missing, but
the dust is sticky. It's like you went to someone's house that hasn't done it yet, and you clean the top of their ceiling fan, and it's just. And I know it's to sound weird to say, but not in a bad way. But wow, the dust is more harsh.
Yeah, like it's an aggressive. Like I get the jam and fruitiness up front, and then it's gone, and then there's like anger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like all of a sudden, like 10% of the way in, something got angry.
Australian rules whiskey.
Yeah, I don't. And the finish is interesting, but that middle section.
Yeah, it's not dry. It's just dusty.
I think I cleared out my sinuses.
Nope.
But
my headphones died.
Oh, well, you're still
That's
here.
right.
We're just about done anyways. So
you can still hear me anyway, right? That's all anybody cares about.
That's true. It is. It is. Because, yeah, we all have great things to say. What do we got coming up here? Next Monday, AJ Schreiner's coming on to talk about AJ Schreiner Spirits, or Ken Schreiner's company. You get the idea. Sorry, my bad. Horrible about that right now. Should have just said it instead of trying to read it. That's my bad. But he has a fantastic lineup that is coming out on July 1st. So it is just around the corner for its actual release. And we're going to try some gin that they have. We got it at a higher proof. And I'm going to have to sip a little bit at that. And then I'm going to try to bring it down a little bit when we're doing it. Just because I think they were down at like 96 instead of like 130. So, and he said that really helps bring it alive. So I'm intrigued to see that happen in the process. And then we also have their whiskey. It's going to be an exciting show. You guys, your stuff is on the way to you. Mules have left the station. And they said they're going to arrive on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Exciting. We also need to welcome Morgan. Since I don't know what my schedule will be, we will have the better half of the Mitch Morgan connection on the show. Possibly.
I kind of like that name.
The Mitch Morgan connection or the better half.
The Mitch Morgan connection. It sounds like the Can-Am connection.
Yeah, it's better than one of those cutesy names where they'd call you like Mitchin or Mortgage.
I like that. It sounds a little bit like a witch that lives in a bog.
So we'll have posts about that, but keep an eye out for that when we come up on Monday, because that will be a pretty interesting show. Then we have another show where we are going to look at Old Monroe and a new Rift store pick. So, and Old Monroe is the full name now, correct?
Well, Stumpy still exists. So,
okay.
Yeah, there is still Stumpy's. You can go to Stumpy Spirits, still has all the Stumpy stuff and has the old things. And then there's also Old Monroe. Okay. So I don't know if it's just a transition period that it's not redirecting at this point. I'll have to reach out to Adam and see if we can get some details on that. But yes.
Oh, and even if it doesn't, it's okay.
Either way, stellar rebranding.
Yeah.
Cool. Really nice rebranding that they've done.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
And the bottles look sharp for what they're doing. So
yeah,
gorgeous.
All right. Well, you heard the two we like tonight. It's always good to have two samples that are pretty damn outstanding. Too bad they didn't blend well together, but that's okay.
I really liked the blend. I don't know.
I liked the blend. It was weird.
Well, I'm just saying, for what you had from the first two, I wouldn't have expected it, and I wasn't expecting that rye to come out, or come to fruition more when I had it. But maybe that's more me and the anise bit of it. It's just, that's the way I am. So, but remember to stop out next week and watch our show. That one's going to be really fun. There's going to be a lot of information in there. So. Until then, remember, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's the love of whiskey. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.